Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning in northeast Nebraska, where a few more details have been released after two fatal plane crashes happened within an hour of each other last month. Preliminary reports from the National Transportation Safety Board say bad weather has been cited near two farm fields in Knox and Wayne counties where small planes crashed on August 26th, 50 minutes apart in northeast Nebraska. Now, the NTSB reports don't cite any probable causes for either crash, but both reports include witness accounts of low clouds and bad weather at the time. The pilots of both planes were killed in the crashes. Well, the future of a central Nebraska city administrator in jeopardy. His time with the city may be coming to a premature end. After being placed on leave earlier this month, the Hastings City Council voting on the potential termination of City Administrator Sean Metcalf's contract on Monday. Metcalf has been on leave since September 4th due to what the Hastings mayor called a personnel matter. It's still unknown why exactly Metcalf was placed on leave. He was selected as city administrator in September of 2022 and began his role later in December. This as three high officials with the fire department are no longer with the city as well. This coming Monday, the 8-person city council needs just a simple majority vote to approve the termination of Metcalf's contract. The U.S. Postal Service says they're implementing extraordinary measures to ensure that this year's ballots for the nation's mail-in voters are delivered on time. It's an assertion by the Postmaster General made amid weeks of concerns raised by both Democrats and Republicans about the post office's past performance and its ability to deliver for the American people. Sherelle Hubbard has more.
The United States Postal Service, or USPS, says it's prepared.
Let me be clear. The Postal Service is ready to deliver the nation's mail-in ballots.
Postmaster General Louis DeJoy pledged Thursday that the U.S. Postal Service will implement, quote, extraordinary measures to ensure the timely delivery of mail-in voting. These special measures include designated lines at post offices for people with ballots, extra deliveries and collections by letter carriers, after-hours drop-offs to election offices, and keeping processing facilities open on the Sunday before Election Day.
We engage in heroic efforts intended to beat the clock.
But not everyone is convinced. In the swing state of Georgia, the USPS, Georgia's Regional Processing and Distribution Center, has suffered months of mail issues.
What we have seen in the state of Georgia over the last year has been abysmal performance by U.S. Postal Service leadership.
Former President Donald Trump has made claims about supposed fraud with mail-in voting since he was on the 2020 campaign trail.
Watch your vote, because they tend to disappear.
He has resurrected those false claims this election cycle.
Mail-in voting is totally corrupt.
USPS officials said in the 2020 election, it delivered 99.89% of ballots from voters to election officials within 7 days. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Nebraska's Department of Health and Human Services issuing a warning after 35 cases of whooping cough have been reported already this year. That's almost triple the number of cases reported all of last year. A pertussis case recently confirmed in a student in the Two Rivers Public Health Department region. They're currently monitoring that situation. Officials say they're now recommending people take precautions as the number grows. State officials encouraging measures to be taken to protect younger individuals who are more threatened by the disease. It's strongly encouraged that if you've not had a Tdap vaccine in the last 7 years, that you discuss your risk with your physician. The CDC, meanwhile, encouraging pertussis vaccinations for most people. 29 people are now new citizens of the United States of America. For the second year in a row, Grand Island's Public Library hosted a naturalization ceremony. This time, the ceremony held as part of a series of events organized by the Grand Island Welcoming Initiative. Library Director Celine Swan says it's a perfect fit for Welcoming Week.
I just hope people know that, Grand Island is welcoming for everyone, no matter where you come from. If you're just moving here and you need information on how to get a card or how to pay your utility bill, or you need health information. When people come to Grand Island, we want them to feel welcome.
At the ceremony, 29 people from 16 different countries took an oath to become citizens of the country, which now makes them eligible to vote. Families, representatives from Nebraska's congressional delegation, and special guests were in attendance. There were several informational booths as well, including from different local nonprofits, and a voter registration option. More affordable housing coming to Grand Island. Ana Ruth Lugo Mejia has more.
A former veteran's home is getting a second life and will soon be transformed into affordable housing. The Grand Island Liberty campus held a groundbreaking ceremony Thursday evening for Phase 1 in the redevelopment process of the former Grand Island Veterans Home. Executive Vice President of Real Estate Development at White Lotus Group, Drew Sova, says it's been a process.
It's been a path with challenges. COVID hit, construction materials costs rose very, very quickly in that time frame. And when you're talking about affordable housing, you're a little bit limited in terms of your budget and what you're trying to do.
Between the Anderson and Pershing buildings, 46 affordable housing units with amenities, space for veterans and seniors prefer, will be constructed. White Lotus Group partnered with the Nebraska Department of Economic Development on home funds. Since it was designated as a National Historic Landmark, it allows them to utilize historic tax credits.
I think that's really exciting because it forces us to maintain the characteristics of the campus. We get to see the upside of that as well. We bring in partners that will utilize those historic tax credits, but for us, it kind of confines us to what we want to do and can do, and that's why when we talk about the overall development, we're talking about ultimately mixed use because on a few of the buildings, they're very well tailored for office space.
The project for now will have at least 2 more phases. The total cost for Phase 1 is about $13 million. Soba says this will benefit the Grand Island community.
You can never, at least as of now, you can't have enough housing. And, when that housing can have the affordability aspect to it, all the better.
Construction has been going on for 2 months, and their goal is for the Anderson building to be completed by the end of the year and Pershing for March of 2025.
White Lotus Group and Help Foundation of Omaha, Inc., I think, both very excited to be part of the Grand Island community now. We know this is step 1, but we feel quite a bit of responsibility to make sure and do this campus right.
In Grand Island, Ana Ruth Lugo Mejia, News Channel, Nebraska.
A Northeast Nebraska public school district putting forward a bond issue this fall that they say is needed for their students' safety. Andrew Pfeiffer has more.
Randolph Public Schools is urgently pushing a bond to protect students from breathing in dark particles.
I want the students to feel comfortable coming over here.
The schools are seeking community support to address critical needs for the school and facilities.
The proposed bond is set to stay at but not go over $9,750,000. Well, where are the finances actually going? Not only are they going towards expansion of these school buildings, but also student safety.
The HVAC system needs to be replaced. While students are using the machinery, those particles are being released through the air.
It'd be nice to be able to get that out of our lungs.
For reference, Flaming recalls a time during the pandemic when the students were wearing masks.
The outside of the mask was essentially brown or black, and we actually could see some of the particulate that had penetrated all the way through the mask and was on the inside.
Flaming cited another safety concern.
In the event of a tornado, we have to leave this building and walk outdoors to go across the street to get into the basement. So that would be nice to be able to stay indoors.
The projected tax rate increase sits around 10.5 cents per $100 evaluation.
Our goal from the beginning was to be transparent with the public. It was very important for us to make sure we were getting information out so the patrons can make informed decisions.
If you go online to randolphbuildstomorrow.org, you can find a tax calculator to see how you will specifically be impacted.
Getting in under $10 million would be something that our patrons could look at as a project that would be worthwhile supporting, that it would meet our needs for the future.
The school administration will hold 2 additional meetings before a majority vote in November. There, the public can ask more questions and understand all corners of the project. Reporting in Randolph, Andrew Pfeiffer, News Channel, Nebraska.
A school district in western Nebraska adding another piece to its education system, adding a new preschool. The Layton School District celebrated their new preschool after a year of planning and grant writing. The school district surveyed communities in their coverage area, finding the need for early childhood education in Layton public schools. District leaders say those years, the most important for children.
We know that most of the learning that happens with kids happens when they're between ages birth to 5 years old. So that's when you guys learn the most of what you learn day to day.
The grant funds 3 years of the preschool program. The preschoolers will then take over a converted kindergarten room and add play-based learning centers for the kids. And finally, a middle school math, science, and social studies teacher in Bennington has been named Nebraska Teacher of the Year. State Commissioner of Education Brian Maher presented the award to Lindsay Wilson during a surprise award presentation yesterday. Wilson started teaching back in 2009 at King Science and Technology Magnet School and Morton Magnet School in the Omaha Public School Districts. She moved to Bennington in 2022. She was one of 3 finalists for the award alongside Megan Pierrot of Syracuse Avoca Dunbar Middle School and Tom Wisenand of Nyhart Elementary in Millard. Wilson now gets to participate in the National Teacher of the Year competition later this year. You can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.